TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
Sorry, leave me a message.
I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body, driving me crazy. I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body.
Hello and welcome to Bedroom Chronicles. I'm your host, Mercury Rises, and today I'm going to be talking about some stories that are in my new book, Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find, Bedroom Chronicles. Relationships can be very hard I think for the majority of us, unless someone has a blueprint to how to make them all basically last. But I think maybe those people might be the ones that just don't stay too much when something goes wrong. So the main characters in my book would be Doc and Jimmy. They're the main two because they're the most recent relationships. Last week I talked more about Doc, so this week I'll probably just focus a little bit more on Jimmy. Now, Jimmy is 5 years younger, professional man, and he is very attractive. He looks a little bit like a basketball player, name doesn't come to mind right now. But anyway, he's about 6'5", maybe 175. Likes to dress. He likes everything beautiful. So Jimmy is a different type of man. He is gentle, soft-spoken most of the time, but he can raise his voice if he needs to. He can put that manly deepness in it if he needs to. I think Jimmy may be a little confused, or he wants to play the part that he's a little confused. Like, oh, I don't know if I want to be in a relationship. I don't know if I'm over my ex-wife. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. I don't know if it's real or not. Well, how can you not know if it's real or not? You're the one that's feeling it. So we were supposed to help each other through our past relationship. So it was me and Doc and him and his ex-wife. Him and his third ex-wife. I think he had about 5 ex-wives. But anyway, so I like a man that likes to talk. So he can hold a pretty good conversation. We could talk about any and everything, and we talk about us a lot. So I like a man that likes to talk about his feelings. He was definitely in touch with his feelings. Jimmy, I don't think he had much staying power, and maybe that's why he had all the divorces. I think he comes and he gets into something, he feels good about it, and 8 or 9 months later, he wants to try something different. And he did have an eye for a different type of woman other than the type that I am, meaning that he preferred short women, he preferred busty, hippie women, and definitely that's not me. But I had other characters that, or other parts of my personality that he was drawn to. Like I was caring and loving and giving, attentive. He really craved the attention. So those are the things that kind of drawed us together. So it took a minute. I don't know if it took a minute I think it took a longer time for him to come around to me, because at some point I felt like I was doing most of the, I guess you could say, pursuing. I was being the more aggressive person, because I just wanted him to relax, and I can help you get through this. I've already been through it at some point in my life, so then I know some routes to take to help you get through what you're dealing with your past relationship that you can't get over, even though you just got divorced a couple of months from somebody else, but that's not the one that you're really hooked on. So all of it is in the book, Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find. Now, true love is hard to find as much for the male as it is for the female. And I think Jimmy proves that point, since he's had about 5 ex-wives and was working on number 6. No, it wasn't me. But anyway, Jimmy, I think that's a song. And anyway, Jimmy liked to, so he say, spend a lot of time by himself. So with me working out of town, I just basically had one day that I would see him. So, and I kept a count. That's just me. So it'd be, I see you once in 10 days. I see you once in 7 days. It might get to the point where I only see you once in 30 days, but I'll talk to you every day. So, and besides that, we only lived about 6 miles apart. So he was going through some things still with the ex-wife. And that was probably in 2018. And I just couldn't understand how he couldn't get past her. But eventually, by 2020, things got better with him not bringing up her name, not having to talk about her at all. I said, oh, those are definitely improvements. So, but maybe those improvements were there because he was engaged to somebody else, and no, it was not me. So, I just felt during that time, now we're in the end part of 2019 up until March of 2020. So let's say October 2019, March 2020 was a very trying time for me because I needed to kind of teach him what I felt I was teaching him a lesson. So he had already said that I'm not ready to be in a relationship with you. Or maybe he said that, I hope that you don't get upset when I tell you I'm interested in somebody else. Those sound more like his words. So I was like, no, honey, go ahead, be you. Do whatever you got to do. I cannot tell you how to handle your heart. So he went on about his business, and so I think that happened in the early part of 2018. That should have been around May or June 2018. So then we didn't talk for a good while between May or June and October. So then he started talking back to me again doing around probably the mid part of October. And doing the talking, like, I want to go out to dinner, you want to go to a show. And I'm like, but you already engaged to somebody else. But I didn't say that to him, I was just thinking that to myself. So I said, well, this is a point where I can kind of let him see how I felt about what he did. Or let him feel how I felt about what he did. So I was aiming more for the feeling part. Not in the feeling part as to hurt him, but just to let him see what I was actually dealing with. Because he said he felt that I didn't care that he was with someone else or engaged with someone else. It didn't seem to bother me, but why would you be looking for a reaction like that anyway? But I said, just because you don't see me crying or you don't see me driving by your house and acting crazy and cray, that doesn't mean that it didn't bother me. I'm not ringing your phone off the hook because you already told me where you wanted to be, so why would I do those things? I just basically, I guess you could call it, suffer in silence. So I worked through it. I always find something positive to do in my life when I'm going through something that's a little rough. Like I go back to school, I write some more chapters in this book. Actually, I wrote so many chapters about him, and they were so mean and low down that I went back and changed it before I published it, which I should have left it the way it was, but anyway. So number 2 is coming. So he started talking to me a lot in October, so I was paying attention to it. In November, and going to the winery and whatever, and coming over to his place, and he cooked dinner, and I said, okay, it's a little bit different than the last time. So then we started talking a little bit more. And in those talks, he would bring up how he thought I felt about his new relationship. So I was like, no. So then I said, well, and out of the talks, he wanted to be intimate. So I set some boundaries. I said, well, if you want to be intimate, then it's going to be my way. So there will be no use of the vagina or the penis, but we can do anything else. So, and he ended up really liking it, and he said, actually better than just regular old sex. What is it called? It was just basically a lot of foreplay, safe sex. So, and then it seemed like every time we got a little closer during those months, he would back off, which is where the days came in at. The 10 days, the 30 days, and him going through something, which he probably was going through something with the extra women on the side, but I guess he didn't think I knew about those. Finding the hair in the bathtub, the lip gloss under the bed, and he said, "Oh, that's mine." Really, your head is bald. So, but the shrimp dinners and the pizza and the wings and the wine and watch a few stories on Netflix or whatever, just spending a few hours at the end of the evening was very nice. So Jimmy just had some, I don't think I would call it boundary issues. I think he just loved to have a variety of women. And out of that variety of women, he just always had to have at least one that he knew was going to be his, which would be the one that was the fiance or the relationship with the ex that he was still in or trying to get out of. So I think that he always had a feeling of needing to be needed, but I wasn't that type of person where I needed you. I may have just wanted to be with you, but I didn't need you in a way like, I need you to do this for me, I need you to do that for me. I need you to help me pay my rent. I need you to buy me a pair of shoes. I need you to come over and fix my flat tire. No, I don't need you in that way, because those things I can do for myself. It would be nice if you did it without me asking, but I still can do those for myself. So I'm not a needy woman. I think I'm pretty self-sufficient. And it appears that when his exes or someone that he was involved with, they were the needy type, or that was their pretense, and that was their way of drawing him in. That's too much work for me. I can't do that. I'm just a real person, and whoever I'm with or going to be with, I just think that they should be real as well. Come 100. So the second time around, yes, he was engaged, but my point was, and it's in the book, was to show him that no, she's not the one that you should be with or that you're supposed to be with. And I didn't tell him who I thought that person was, but I just knew it wasn't her. Because when I first saw the picture, I actually thought that it was his mom had gotten engaged. But no, it was actually his fiance. He may not like that. I know he's watching it, but anyway, I already told him that as well. So it's time for a break. I'll be right back. Thank you.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom, Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30316 in East Atlanta Village.
So many Black lives incarcerated. so many Black lives silenced. When will we stop the madness?
Hey, I'm not in right now. Sorry, leave me a message.
I
Bye.
just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body, driving me crazy. I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body.
Ooh. Welcome back. Okay, so we're back, and we're talking about Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find. It's my new book. It's been out since April of this year, Relationship Chronicles, and I'm talking about one of the characters in the book, which is Jimmy. Last week we talked about Doc most of the show. So I'm going to read you maybe two paragraphs off of page 173 about a conversation Jimmy was having with Mercury's. Well, a conversation Jimmy was having with Sasha. Sasha, you take such good care of me. I sometimes wonder, are you always like this? I haven't had a chance to show you generosity. You keep doing new stuff. You care for me medically, feed me, attend to me, and pleasure me. When I was sick and in the hospital, you came back when you had a break to pleasure me. Who does that? You, LOL. I thank you for so much attention. I love sleeping with you. You are comfortable to lay next to. You don't complain that you got to get up and that you got to get some sleep. Like last night when I kept you up late. You stayed up late to greet me and pleasure me. You brought me breakfast and lunch, which would be my dinner. Thank you. Sasha, I have been thinking a lot about you. I was nervous the first time. At my age, sometimes I may have difficulty in staying hard. Hopefully, when we get more comfortable, I will get over that. We did not get into different positions. I came quick. Your rim, Sasha, got me to the edge multiple times. It is so easy to get hooked on those. I need to hear your bedroom voice again. You have a low-pitched voice, but I'm interested in hearing it again. So that was basically a thank you note for one of the nights that we spent together, and after him being sick in the hospital for, I think it was probably a day or two. And I really liked and enjoyed getting those type of email messages from him. Oh, I forgot to say, he's a writer as well. His book is Chasing Waterfalls. But anyway, actually that's how I met him, because I wanted a girlfriend of mine that was also a friend of his to read a couple of chapters that I wrote. So she told me, no, I can't read that. And I'm going home by myself all hot. So, but I got somebody that's basically on your level and write the same type of genre you write. So I said, okay. So she called him while I was in our office, and she set up an appointment. He was out of town in New York at the time, but he said when he get back that he would meet up with me. So we met at this restaurant that he frequents, and I took about 20 pages, and he read it. And what I wanted to know if it was erotica, and I was sitting there watching him. So he was reading, and it was getting a little dark in the restaurant. And he had on glasses, so then I just turned the light on my phone so he can continue to see. So he was sitting at the table, and he was doing this and wiping his mouth and licking his lip. And I said, I'm watching you. I'm paying attention to all your reactions as you read the book. I said, I just needed to know, is it erotica? And he's like, yes, congratulations, it's erotica. And I said, oh, cool. So I don't know if he just wanted to, at that point, it was just thank you. When I get some more chapters, I'll email it to you because now I know who you are. And you can just critique it and send it back to me. But then we would just end up just meeting to go over some more pages or something. And then it got to the point where we were just meeting each other. So I don't know if he just wanted to know actually what he said was, some people can write it, but they can't do it. So I think he just wanted to see if I could write it and I can do it. I can write it and I can outperform it actually. So then in 2018 was not at all like the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020. 2018, he said I was more like a church girl. I don't know what that means, but anyway, church girls probably do know what that means. Well, so, I guess I could tiptoe around that. I think a church girl would mean that I wasn't giving him 100% of me in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But after he told me he got engaged, and I thought, this man didn't even get to know me. He didn't get to know what I was about. And I need him to know that a relationship just not stem only from sex. You need to get to know the person first. Yeah, he knew a little bit. He knew what I was capable of doing, how capable I was of taking care of him, and some of my little tricks in the bedroom. Jimmy. So I decide I'll bring out my little black bag. Well, my black duffel bag. It is not that small. And I decided, I called him up. I decided I'll call him. I said, hey, can I come over? And he was like, yeah, it probably was like a Wednesday or a Thursday. And I said, well, can I bring some toys? And he was silent for a moment. And he said, sure. So then I picked out 2 or 3 out of my little bag. Because I didn't want to shock him. I didn't want anything like big. So I went with something like big as my pinky or my thumb. And I just introduced that into our little safe sex routine. And it was amazingly good. And it got his attention. Like, well, maybe she do know a little bit more than I gave her credit for. So then I took control, and I didn't let him take control at all. So, nope, I'm not patiently waiting on you to get where you need to be. I'll do the work. So then I started doing the work. So he just made sure by the time I took that 2.5 drive from Alabama back to Atlanta, that dinner was done when I arrived at his condo, and I'll have a glass of champagne, and I'll listen to some music while he was in the kitchen finishing up with dinner. And then I'll go downstairs and I'll take my shower and wrap my head in my towel and put my towel around my body. And I'll come back upstairs and finish my glass of champagne, and we talk a little bit, and then we go play. So we play for a few hours, and then it was time to go to sleep. So he got used to the playing, and then he would tell me that how much he was in love. But yet now you are engaged. But now his mind is changing about the engagement. So since his mind is changing about the engagement, which was part of the plan anyway, I needed him to know that no, what you did was not right. What you did was not the way it's supposed to go. I want to just switch it up a little bit. So then I gave him, he said, before I get to what I gave him, he said since I love what we do, but since you have a no dick, no vagina policy, which was my policy and I stuck to it, then I just want you to know that sometimes I really would want us to do it that way. And I was like, nope, you engaged, so we're not doing that. So he was feeling kind of indifferent about the engagement. And he would tell me how he felt about the engagement because the wedding was supposed to be in May or June of this year. So from October until March of this year, we were still hanging out, I guess you can call it. So in March he called the wedding off, and he felt really bad about it. But you wasn't happy in it, or you wasn't happy through the whole process of the thought of getting married to that person, because you wasn't gonna. Number one, you wasn't happy. I don't think you loved her. I think you might have loved something that she did for you in the bedroom, but you didn't love more. You didn't love what she did more than you loved what I did, because what I did got you to cancel the wedding, call it off. And I felt it was fair because they weren't married yet, and I'm sure she knew that he was with someone before she got with him, and that someone would have been me. So that was just, I guess, one up in her. And then it balanced out later to, I decided that nope, I had enough of that, because even though I was teaching him a lesson, I was also learning one myself. And it was hard for me to put myself through that, knowing that he was still talking to her, knowing that he was going to visit her or she was coming to visit him, even though the intimacy wasn't there. And the thought of, well, if it's going to work out between me and him later, no, because I was thinking maybe you have 5 ex-wives and an ex-fiance. Why should it work out between you and I later? Because it's going to still be based off of only sex for you. We'll be right back.
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken word? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com, and we thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Michael Collier, funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party! All right, see y'all later. Bye. Hi, I'm Michael Collier.
Hey, I'm not in right now. Sorry, leave me a message.
I
Bye.
just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body, driving me crazy. I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room,
Welcome back to Bedroom Chronicles. I'm Mercury Risings, and today I'm talking about my new book, Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find, Bedroom Chronicles. And the character today I'm talking about will be Jimmy. Actually, Jimmy is my last relationship. Well, you know what? I say relationship. I don't know if it should be situationship, but he said it wasn't no relationship. What? That mofo had the nerve to tell me that we were not in a relationship. So I Googled it and I cut and paste and I sent to him about 9 or 10 different relationships. I said, we fit in there somewhere. But anyway, so he was trying to do some things that would just piss me off or rub me the wrong way. But it takes a lot to get to me like that. If you want to end it, just say you want to end it. You don't have to be cruel about it, because you might want to come back. But anyway, Jimmy. So the wedding, I think I was talking about the wedding before the commercial. So the wedding was called off. Jimmy is a slick guy. And I should understand him being how he is, and when he's being slick, because Jimmy's a Gemini, and so am I. And what his character, his personality is, I can say is somewhat like mine, because I can be slick too. Sometimes you have to out-slick a slicker. Oh, in his case, a player. But so-called player. Jimmy is, if it's just you and him for that few hours, or the few hours and like 9 or 10 o'clock at night to 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, he is perfect. Anything, and all the other hours, total different person. So I caught some feelings for Jimmy, but from October to March, I felt it's more of my healing process, because everything that he did or didn't do or said that was not nice, and I let him know when it wasn't nice, took some of that feeling away. So gradually, I got to the point where I didn't care that he was talking to her or whomever else. I didn't care whether it was 10 days, 17 days, or 30 that went by, because then I went on, and I wasn't sitting there waiting on him. I was doing my own thing. Whether I was driving to another state or going over to another friend's house, I was doing whatever pleased me. And when he felt that he had the time, then I would show up. But he had the audacity to say that whenever I call, you come. No, it's not whenever you call, I come. It's whenever you call and I feel like coming, I go, because I only see you 7 days, 10 days, or 30. So I may see you twice a month or once a month. So it's not whenever you call. Not whenever you call. I didn't want to hurt his ego, but I did bruise it a few times, because he felt that, or he thought that he knew exactly how I felt about him. He thought that I craved him. No, I didn't crave you. You did the craving. I loved him more than he loved me. In the beginning, yeah, in 2018 I did, not in 2019 to the March of 2020. No, you basically destroyed that. I still like you, but you are a piece of work. It takes a lot of effort, and I was putting in a lot of effort. And I was putting in more effort than he was putting in. And I did realize that. I was given more than he was given, but that's the mistake that I've made out of the last 3 relationships, giving and effort. So what's this, July 2020? I put a different twist on things. July 2020, I'm not giving of myself as easily, because I've learned that that only brings pain. But then I'm not gonna, how can I put this? I'm not going to sideline myself if the right thing does come along. Because I'm not gonna punish the new person that's coming for what I learned from the past 3. Because I do chunk them up as just lessons. And doing those lessons, those were some hard lessons, I must say that. Especially when you're going through it and you know you're going through it and you know it's not going to really go anywhere, but to prove a point to the other person, you still go through it. And I just wanted him to see that it's not about only the intimacy. Yes, sex is important, but it shouldn't be the core of the relationship. It shouldn't be. But I do understand for a man how it can be one of those, if I'm not satisfied, I might leave, but it's like that for the woman as well. If I'm not satisfied, I'm gonna go outside or just leave. If I'm not satisfied, I'm gonna let you know. If I'm not satisfied, we can talk about it. If I'm not satisfied, then I'll tell you or show you what I like. And then if you still don't get it, then it's time to go. Still not saying that sex is the most important thing. But it's gonna be he's gonna be frustrated as well because he knows that I'm frustrated. So, if anyone want to call in and have any questions, please feel free to do so. The number should be up on the screen. And again, this is I'm Mercury Rising. I'm talking about my new book, Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find, Bedroom Chronicles. It's been, actually, it was in April and May. I went from number 5 to number 15 to number 25. And I think it may be in the 2000s right now when I checked yesterday. One of the reported links said it was like 2,200 and something in the bestseller on Amazon. But you can help me get that number down lower by purchasing it today. So I've spoken to Jimmy a couple of times from March up until July, but it hasn't been in person. Just been like, oh, I haven't seen you at work because of our IM, or I haven't seen you active on social media, or are you on vacation? Are you okay? And so I'm just, if I give you 100, 200% of me, but you're too busy with everything else and everybody else to pay 75% of the same attention to me that I'm paying to you. When I leave, I'm done, 100% done, because I gave you my all. And I gave that to 3 of those men at those times that they were in my life. It was Doc, Jimmy, or my ex-husband. So the ship have sailed. And I appreciate y'all being in my life and giving me these words to put in this book, because it's going to make really good reading and it's a very good lesson that some women may not want to experience. So to avoid experiencing it, you can read it in this book. But then sometimes experiencing it is a way of growth. So, who knows? I've definitely grown a lot in the last 3-4 years. Thanks to my relationships. But by no means am I man bashing. I'm just sharing my personal experience and my emotions as I went through the weeks and months with these men. And it was my choice to stay or go. And I knew when I had enough, then it's time to leave. But I'm sure I should have left earlier than the time that I did leave. So when I left Jimmy, when it was over with in 2018, I should have just let it rest. But I just was drawn to teaching him something. And I'm sure he learned it. I'm sure he did. So, Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find is an emotional roller coaster because it talks about more than just my intimate relationships. It goes back to when I was a little girl growing up in South Carolina and New York, Brooklyn, New York, and the traumatic experience that I went through from the age of 5 to 12 years old, whether it was rape, incest, and how that little girl just kept all those in pain and emotions to herself until she was 30 years old. And that part, that part covers probably the first 32 pages of my book. And anybody that's a parent, a mother, a father, single parent, especially single parents, because single parents are always leaving their kids with somebody else if they have to. Because you have to go to work, or you got to go to school, or you got to do both. So this book opened your eyes to some of those experiences and some of the things that a single parent or a parent or anybody that's caring for a child that they should look out for or be mindful of. And you should listen to your kids when they tell you something. Don't just put it off as their imagination. My parents and basically all my parents were just females. The men were not there. My mom, my great-grandma, my grandmother, those were my parents. And I think they did a very good job. I think they did the best that they knew how to do at the time. But some things still got past them. It's still a little touchy for me to talk about the emotional part of the traumatic event that I went through. But I did confront the part about the incest when I was when I turned 30. And I did that in front of his mom, so she was aware, and his daughter, so she was aware. And I don't hold him I guess I can say I don't hold a grudge against him or any anger against him for that. I've forgiven him and myself for that. Commercial time. Are we done?
Are you an artist, a writer of spoken words? Do you have content ready but need exposure? Get to know me. I'm Alicia, host of a new Facebook live stream show called The Flavor, where we promote local and international talent of all genres. Here are some rules and regulations to the videos that we'll be accepting. They must be radio ready, no cursing, no lewd language. You must send us contact information as well as a YouTube link to your video so we can extract it from there. Email us at 1061tv@gmail.com, and we thank you for your time. Are you an artist?
TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat Shoals Avenue Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30316 in East Atlanta Village.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party. All right, see y'all later. Bye. Hi, I'm Michael Cow.
Welcome back. Look what I got. And it's sweet. So this is going to take me from Jimmy to Doc. I'm sorry, I just have to put a little bit of Doc in this. So I'm just going to read from page 155. And the title of the beginning of this chapter is On My Way. Doc is just so exciting. So it says, Doc texts me he is missing me. It's Sunday and he's off Tuesday morning, Wednesday, and Thursday. I told him I would be there Wednesday, but I changed my mind and leave Tuesday morning and arrived around 1400 Tuesday afternoon. I called him once I was outside his apartment door. What are you doing? He responds with resting. And I said, that's a good idea. Where are you? He asks. And I said, outside your door. Your neighbor let me in the gate. I met her on the last visit. He opens the door, lets me in, and lands a hot kiss and hug on me as if he really missed me. I knew he did. My mind is on loving him for the next 2 days. We stopped in the kitchen and he wanted to clean. I said, no, baby, I have something for you. It isn't necessary to clean 2 plates right now. Come get your loving. And we moved to the bedroom where I used the bathroom and freshen up after the 5-hour ride. It's 2:30 p.m. and he has to go to work at 4 and should be back around 9 p.m. He has to officiate a volleyball game. He asked if I wanted to go with him to the game or stay and study. I chose to study and cook him dinner by the time he returns. So I asked him what he wanted for dinner. He wanted some lima beans or big beans. So I decided I'll cook the lima beans and some rice and some fried chicken. I made some macaroni and cheese, and he gave me his mom's skillet to cook the chicken in. But anyway, trying to find a juicy part. So he comes back from officiating the game. He goes in and he takes a shower, but first he smells the food. And it's like, damn, sound like somebody need to move to Charleston. So he goes in the kitchen, he opens the pots and he takes a whiff, then he goes in the bathroom and prepares for his shower, comes out. This wine is really good. And Doc wants Sasha to climb on board his soul train to go for a long ride. She was willing. Sasha told Doc, baby, this leg is not going to make it. Well, it appears that Sasha has a bad leg. How about I give you a little lick. Doc, so sweet and thoughtful, did not want her to do too much work. He felt it should be equal pleasure between them. Sasha explained to Doc that her pleasure came from seeing him pleased and satisfied. If only he realized how wet she got from just the lick. But anyway, Men in My Bed, True Love is Hard to Find. Relationship Chronicles is a very good experience. If you can picture, if as you're reading it, you can picture what's actually going on, it would take you on every feeling that you can imagine. I think within the first 40 pages you can be angry, you might want to cry, you might want to commit a crime, you may want to just sit back and put it down and take a break and then go back and pick it up and start reading it again. And then by the time you get to the relationship part, you're gonna feel it's overwhelming. You're gonna feel hot. You're gonna feel the love that between Doc and Sasha. You're gonna feel the hurt that Sasha dealt with Doc. You're gonna feel the rejection that she felt with Doc. And you're gonna getting back to Jimmy. In that relationship with Jimmy, Sasha should have had, they need a therapist between the two of them. In the middle of everything, they need a therapist in the middle. Because Jimmy needed a lot of help. Even though Sasha's background is counseling, and that's how she was able to help him a little bit, because she could sit and listen, and then she could offer her opinion, but she let him do the work. And then even Jimmy did have a therapist, but he would say, no, that's what my therapist said. And he said, well, if your therapist said it to you and Sasha is saying it to you, then maybe that's confirmation that that's what you should do or what you shouldn't do. I know it's supposed to be about Jimmy today, not Doc, but this wine is really good. So, Jimmy. Whew. So I ended this book with Jimmy, and I'm starting the new book. I started it off with Jimmy as well, because when you come to an end of something, it's a new beginning. Even though that person is not in the beginning, I still need that I need to talk about that and how I got to the end of Jimmy, because it was hard getting to the end. Even we weren't together, we weren't talking, but it was still hard to get to the end. It's not easy to get over feelings. It's not easy to come to terms with things that people say that's hurtful, especially when you're not telling them. Because after he said we didn't have a relationship, that was the pot calling the kettle black for me. I was like, wow, all that we went through, all of the talks that we had, and all the things that we did together. You used to say we didn't have a relationship. Where were you? So, and where were you? What did those comments about I love you, what were those if we weren't in a relationship? Had to have been some kind of ship. But I am a big believer in karma, and I think he's getting double time his karma right now, because he is a person that's always deep in his feelings, over analyzing. I know I overanalyze, but he's worse than me, 10 times worse than me. Because he'll overanalyze and come up with situations and end results, and it'd be nothing closely related to what is actually going on. You should have stopped with the first thought, but that's Jimmy. Men in My Bed, True Love, Hard to Find, Relationship Chronicles. You can get it on Amazon. Actually, you can get it on anywhere you can buy a book. It's there, but Amazon is basically the main spot. It's $19.99. I think it's $21 even with tax, and delivered in 3 to 5 days. A lot of people have actually bought it and gave me some feedback. And if you buy it, or when you buy it, and after you've read it, please leave a comment. Go back on Amazon and leave a comment at the bottom and click on a star. This is a 5-star, most definitely. But we can talk about the cover for a little bit. So the cover is, actually, I paid an artist to draw it. So let me let you get a good view. So you have 3 sets of shoes in the bedroom, which represent the 3 different men. Jimmy, Doc, and the ex-husband. And then the one that's on fire is Doc because he was the hottest. And the man that's in the window is Doc. And if you notice that it's nighttime and that you see that the moon is shining. Now, I think, and I've read that the moon represents hidden things. So that's why Doc is outside the window peeping in, because I believe he has a lot hidden. He has a lot of secrets. And basically, that's it. So that's how I came up with the title. And that's how I came up with the title based on the 3 men and a few others. But that's exactly how I came up with the photo for the cover of the book. Ooh, that wine is kicking in. But anyway, I think that Jimmy and Doc had a missed opportunity. That missed opportunity was me. But you always save the best for last, because my better is coming. So thank you for joining me today. Looking forward to seeing you next week. This wine is really kicking in.
Hey, I'm not in right now. Sorry. Leave me a message.
I just wanna love you. Meet me at the hotel room, or you can come over. So many things I wanna do to your body, driving me crazy. I just wanna